Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about compilers, and on our course menu on the left hand side you'll see three links: Visual Studio, Dev C++, and an online compiler called REPL. Excuse me. Now, last semester in CPS 120 we used Dev C++ as a compiler, and so most of you are familiar with Dev C++. We also used it last year in CPS 120 and 130. So if it's been a little while for you, you're familiar with Dev C++. You can continue to use Dev C++ if you want, but last semester I changed my CPS 130 class over to Visual Studio, and it's just a much better compiler. It's a little more complicated to use, so you can choose whatever you want. You can continue to use Dev C++. I'd really encourage you to try Visual Studio out because it has a lot of nice features, which makes it easier to find your errors in your code. But anyway, just to show you, I'm going to click on this Visual Studio link. And in here you'll find installation instructions. Then you'll find these are the steps to create a C++ project and add a source file. This is the big difference, really. You have to have a project and you put your source file in the project. In Dev C++, you could just click on a source file and just open it up. You know, some of you might even find it easy to just open sample files that way, but to do your projects in Visual Studio, you know, it's really completely up to you. But that's the big difference. So you have to make sure that you follow these steps exactly. And then here's a video of me going through the process, which you probably want to watch if you want to try it. And then later in the semester, we'll be working on input files, so I have that information here. We'll be working in C++ classes. I have that information here. And the Visual Studio, using the debugger is a feature that allows you to go through step by step by step through your code, and it's a really nice feature to find logical errors. So that's everything you need to know about Visual Studio. Well, I guess a couple more things. Number one, it's a Microsoft product. So if you have a Mac, you cannot use it. But I do know that a lot of you Mac users use Xcode, and that's fine too. And that has a lot of nice features as well. But the other thing is, you know, it's a really big program. So, you know, if your computer is, let's say, more than 3 years old, you know, you might not want to try it. It takes a lot of memory, and you know, so it's really kind of a hog for your memory, and it'll run a little bit slower. But you know, even to me, you know, my computer's probably 3 years old now. I prefer it. So there's your options for that. Here's everything you need to know about Dev C++. You know, so if you got a new computer, you need installation instructions. Here's some shortcut options up here, or how to create input files and things like that. Again, here's a video. Oh no, these are just the step-by-step instructions. Here's a video. And then when we get to classes, the information you need here. I have a few students using this online computer, Replit, and I had a student that used it for CPS 130 last semester. He liked it. It's really nice as far as syntax highlighting and things like that. It just creates like some crazy default names for your code. And when we start to work with multiple files, you might have to finagle your file names a little bit. But that's something that you might want to check out. That'll work for Windows or Mac. So you can use Visual Studio, Dev C++, the Replit compiler, whatever you want to do is, or Xcode. All of those options are good for this class. And in the project folder for this learning module, I do kind of go through the Visual Studio process again. Let me just go into here for a second. Oop, not that one, sorry. Sorry about that. Let me get to the project. Well, you'll see it when you open the project folder. I have another video in here that just steps you through using Visual Studio in case you decide to use it this semester. So it'll help you use it for project 1.